So let's talk about 5 fast ways to generate cash in your life and your business. So my first recommendation for you is that you want to make a spreadsheet, go back through your last 3 months of statements for your business and also for your personal accounts, create statements for each of them, and chart the expenses and outgoings in your business and what they are in your personal life, and do them on separate sheets of your spreadsheets. And basically what you want to do is make sure that you get, you collate similar items together. So food, and clothes shopping, those are individual categories. On the business side, you might have IT expenses, staff wages, collate those into categories as well. And essentially what you're doing here is you're trying to see what you're spending on, and you're getting an idea of what is your average expense each month in your business and what's your average expense in your personal life. And once you've done that, you can go through these expenses and just go, what is necessary and what is not needed? What am I not using? And if you have subscriptions for things that you aren't using, cancel them straight away. This is going to save you a lot of money, because most of us end up with subscriptions for all kinds of things that we don't really use or we rarely use. And if you need to generate cash fast, this is a really quick way of cutting down your expenditure and therefore opening up cash. So that's the first thing I recommend you do. The second thing you need to do is to create a budget. Once you know what your outgoings are, you want to create a budget for what's coming in, and you want to create a budget moving forwards for your expenses. So what are you going to spend in the coming months on each of those categories? And this is after you have cancelled all those subscriptions, cancelled the unnecessary things you don't need, and also set yourself budgets for your on your personal side. Set yourself a budget for your food shopping, set yourself a budget for clothes, etc. And things that aren't really necessary, you can just reduce that right down for the time being. Okay, because I'm giving you strategies that are really about, if you need cash quickly, this is what I recommend you do. And this is going to release cash for you. Even the second exercise is key. I've even at times put the money into envelopes that I'm going to allow myself to spend on different areas, and have them in the envelope, so that way I know I'm not going to overspend. So, you may not need to go to that extreme, but what I'm trying to say here is give yourself that budget, so you know what your spending is going to be, you know what's coming in, and then you know what is the difference, where is the shortfall, what is the extra cash I need to make to be able to survive, or if you have it covered, what would I like to make? Okay, so then the third step is looking at what you're entitled to. So this means exploring any kind of government options that could help with reducing your costs. And of course, at this point, there are a number of different things available for self-employed people from the government, depending on which country you're in as well. It depends on what the offerings are, but make sure you explore them and see what you're entitled to. The number of times that I've had clients who haven't been claiming for money that they're entitled to from the government, even on the personal side. In some cases, there's been clients going back a few years who were entitled to benefits that they weren't claiming, single parents. And just by actually taking up those entitlements, that has actually brought cash in, really important cash, that's given them the breathing space to be able to grow their business. So make sure you see what you're entitled to. Martin Lewis in the UK, he's giving a lot of information about what people are entitled to, so you can always check out his show on the BBC. The other thing that you want to do in this third sort of step is to look at what other things are you entitled to, i.e., could you put your mortgage payments on hold? A lot of mortgage providers are offering this at this point, and they're giving 3 months on hold of payments. Take that up if you need to take that up. Look at those things that are available to you. Step 4. Your step 4 is really about getting creative. This is about thinking about the ways in which you can generate cash in your business fast, and even cash from your home fast. So an exercise that you could do is to write down 50 ways of generating cash. So you can think about the things that you can sell in your business. Could you sell one-to-one coaching? Could you sell like an hour of your coaching time? at a discounted rate? Have you got a program sitting there that you could actually sell, that you could just get it out to your mailing list? What other ways can you generate cash quickly in your business? Is there something that you can see that your audience needs that you haven't created a product for, but would help them with one of their biggest issues right now? Make that product and get it out. And I always suggest here that you don't actually make all of the training modules. You just create the plan, create the sales page, sell it, and then you make it as you go along with the clients. Okay. So really go for this and explore all the, challenge yourself to think about all the different ways that you could generate cash in your business. And also write down, what are the different ways that you could release cash at home? Are there things that you're not using that actually you could sell? Now, when I did this exercise myself a few years ago, I wrote down about my wedding ring and engagement ring from my previous marriage. I'm no longer married. And I wrote them down because actually at the time, that felt like my, if I got really desperate, that would be something I could sell because it's solid gold and it would be easy to sell and it would release cash quickly. I never got to the state where I needed to sell that, okay? Because there were so many other options on my list. I got through all of them first, but having that on the list, it gave me that confidence. It gave me that encouragement that if all else fails, I have that option, okay? So this is what it's about. It's not about going, that's the thing I've got to go for first. No, it's about knowing what your options are. So just take time to write down 50 different ways that you can generate cash fast, and see it as an exercise that's just going to get your brain cells going and get you creative about what you can do. I also had my wedding dress on the list, and my wedding dress is still hanging in my cupboard, even though I actually would quite like to sell it now. Okay, so there are things, okay, and during this time there may be some things that you can't sell right now, okay, because we've got social distancing, that is understandable, but there may be stuff that you can. So have a look at what that is. So that is your action step 4. Action step 5, this is arguably the most important step to take. This is actually just literally actioning all of the things that you said that you would do from steps 1 to 4. Getting rid of those subscriptions you don't need, stopping payments for things that you don't need to spend on, setting yourself a budget and making sure you stick to it, looking at what you're entitled to and actually going for those entitlements, taking action on them. 4 is about, what are the ways that you can generate cash now, and actually doing it, actually get an offer out there. Even if you just make a few sales, that's still cash in the door, okay? Take action on what you can control now, and that will move you into a place where you will start to generate that abundance. And remember to look after your mindset in the process. So good luck with this. I look forward to hear how you're getting on with creating cash. And please do comment as well on this video. Let me know what you think. What are the ways that you're creating cash now in your business and in your life?